Ms. Dolenzine, this story's been out for a couple of weeks. Are you satisfied with the response of public officials in Rhode Island as to their support or even acknowledgement that this is a case?
You know, I come from doing this all over the country for 20 years, so I think that it kind of varies on what state you're in and how comfortable they are with these kinds of cases. I have found a disconnect between what I'm hearing at the community level and what I'm hearing from state leaders. At the community level, as I told you, the outpouring of support, I got calls from Bristol, from Jamestown, from all over, right? That are people that really want to help, and they want to help in any way possible. So I think, you know, I'm certain that you know, the Congressional delegation is doing what they can, you know, in the back way that they can, which is contacts, right? Because all of this is about knowing who you know. But I hear the family unification, and we must not separate our families very loud when I walk outside the door, and very loud when I pick up the phone. And quite frankly, that isn't being represented by state leaders right now.
Have you had conversations with the Congressional delegation about what they're doing?
Yeah, and I think, you know, there's different, all of this, and you guys are very familiar with this because you've covered many legal cases before. There are certain things that you can say, and there's certain things that you can't. What I'm hearing from the community is that they want their leaders to speak up and stand up for all Rhode Island families. We can't control what's going on at the national level. I've been working to fix the immigration system for 20 years. It's broken, and right now we know the policies that are coming from national politicians. But we can stand as a community together and protect all of our families. The other thing that I'm hearing the most, Bill, is people coming up to me and being like, do you understand that this could be me? This could be any of us. So, you know, I would welcome for elected officials, state and local, to go to these community gatherings that are happening all over Providence last night at, you know, 8 o'clock at night, and speak to their constituents about what they're feeling and how they want to be represented.
You said that you thought that there were things that could be done on the state level policy-wise.
Yep.
Could you give an example of one that
Sure.
you think would help?
Sure. So in preparation for, you know, what advocates and legislators around the country knew was going to be anti-immigrant. Let's remember that the president started his campaign saying all Mexicans were rapists, and continued to vilify immigrants and make it a campaign issue to vilify immigrants and scapegoat them. In preparation for that, a lot of movement has happened. For example, in California, they've set up an Immigrant Legal Defense Fund. So Louis and Lilian aren't alone, right? And this is going to keep on happening. What's the sustainability of, as a state and as a people who are concerned about our families, if we have to do a GoFundMe and emergency meetings every time this happens, right? These are our families. Lilian has been here since she was 3 years old, never left. Providence is her home. So setting up funds like that is, I think, a very proactive way of assisting people in recent situation, because all of a sudden you no longer have an income of the you know, primary and secondary income. But you have legal fees, but you have the possibility of having to travel. He has 2 small children. So I think that's something that, as the Latino Policy Institute, we're starting conversations on, and we want to continue that.
Okay, thanks.
So you say a disconnect between the elected officials and the community. What would you like to see them do? You want them to get up and make a speech?
It's not about me. It's about the community that is reaching out to me because of this case and the people that are coming together. I think you're in touch with a lot of them. I think that in the face of what's happening at the national level and in the face of these arbitrary detentions, separations that are unconstitutional, I think that statewide leaders can talk about the humane way of dealing with this while Washington fixes this, right? Immigration is a national purview, not a state one.